Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. Today I want to talk about a psychic story. Many of you like listening to the stories that I come across with clients over the years, and I've got many, believe me. And it got me thinking, what do I want to talk about today? Of all the thousands and thousands of clients that I've come across, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you with the stories that you bring. It's very, the purpose is huge. One day, this was maybe about 8 or 9 years ago, I had a lovely lady. It was in the wintertime, and I remember it was very cold, and she had come to see me in my office, and she was just such a beautiful girl. Beautiful. I would say she was in her late 20s, early 30s, and she just had a presence about her. And I remember her coming into my office, and she had a big sweater on, and she had her scarf, and anyway, so she was a little nervous, and I said, "You okay?" And she goes, "Yeah." She says, "I'm a little excited, I'm nervous, and don't know what you're gonna see." And I says, "Well, we'll see." And I always start with my sessions by asking my clients, what brings you here? Because everybody does have a reason for coming. And they always proceed, well, I want to make contact with a loved one, or my marriage isn't so good, or I'm having trouble with my child, or will I ever have a baby? All kinds of things. That's why I like to be more mindful and ask, what brings you here? And she just says, I just have had a hard time in life, and I just want to see what you see for me. I says, fair enough. All of a sudden, as I'm looking at her, I had a horrific vision in front of me. And the vision, I got to tell you, was really hard. It was heartbreaking, but very profound. And the vision that I saw was that her throat got slashed. Like somebody came, and I see this man coming from behind her and just whoosh. And I thought, oh, that was not a good thing. And then all of a sudden I have all this blood on my hands, and I'm looking, and as I'm reading her, I actually see the blood. The blood is real. And I'm looking, and she goes, "Are you okay?" And I'm doing this. I'm like, "Yeah." And I said, "Do you see anything on my hands?" She goes, "No." She says, "I just see your hands." I says, "I don't know how to say this to you, and I say this with the utmost respect, but were you ever attacked?" And she looked at me, and she sat back a little bit. And I said, "I feel that there was something very tragic that happened to you, and it's involving your throat." I didn't tell her exactly what I saw because I didn't want to freak her out, because that's not something you say to a client. But I said, "Did you have anything happen to your throat?" And with that, she just says, "Why would you say that to me?" And I said, "Because I see it. And I'm sorry. I don't mean any harm for you." And with that, tears just started coming down her face, and she's just staring at me. And all of a sudden, she's got this turtleneck, and she pulls it down, and there is a gash from here to here. I just stared. And I didn't say anything, and she is just sobbing. It was a very hard thing. It was a hard moment. It was a hard moment for me to see her, because I felt her pain. Her pain went right through me. And let's go back. I saw the vision. So I didn't say anything. I stood quiet, and she started to perceive that she got raped. Now, I didn't say anything. I let her talk because she needed to get it out of her. And she says, "The fact that you could see it just blows me away." And she says, "But I was assaulted. And then when he was finished, he took me and he slashed my throat." She says, "He basically left me for dead." She says, and I'm unconscious. And she says, and then I remember waking up, and she says, I can't even, move my neck back and forth, nothing. I'm in a hospital room. Police are there. They're trying to get a description from me, the whole thing. She says, "Since that time, Susan, I can't move forward. I've had immense counseling. I've had 32 surgeries in 4 years." So I just listened, and when she was done, I told her, I says, "Honestly, what you had been through, nobody should have gone through. It's horrific." And I'm sure you've gone to counseling. She goes, oh yes, I have. And she goes, and I'm better. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions, and I can't help think, but why did this happen to me? What was the reason? I turned around and I said, there is a reason. As sad and as of a tragedy and horrific of a crime this was, there is. And sometimes we're put in horrible situations and it makes no sense and it feels like it's the ultimate of punishment. But in a spiritual way, our journey is going there for a reason, even though we can't see why at the time. And I said to her, one day you're going to know why, but you were there for a purpose because of what you're going to bring out of it. I truly believe that. And she says, I don't know why, because she says, there's no way, I can't even manage my own life ever since this has happened. I said, it will, and it will happen within 2 years. I think you needed to come here so I can see it, but I can put you in a direction that there is this big, magnificent light waiting for you at the end of your tunnel. But you have to really get past the why and figure what you're going to do from here. It ended up to be such a lovely and heartfelt session. So, 2 years later, makes another appointment. This time it's in the springtime. She comes in and I looked, because I never really recognize names. If you're a regular client, I will, but usually I don't ever remember my sessions unless it's a tragic one or something that's very like, wow. And hers I did, but I didn't remember her name. So when she made the appointment, I'm just, reading another session. But when she came in, I said, did I read you? And she says, yes, you did. I says, oh, okay. I says, well, come on in. Still not putting the puzzle piece, what happened when I read her 2 years ago. As she was sitting down, this time, like I said, it was springtime, it was warm. She had a lovely scarf around her neck. Still not putting the puzzle pieces together of who she was with her story. She says to me, I don't know if you remember me coming in to see you. I said, I remember your face, but I don't remember the session. I'm sorry. She says, with all the people you see, I can't blame you for remembering. But I was the one that you saw the gash in the throat. I said, oh my God, yes, I remember. How have you been? She looked at me and she says, when I left your office, I remember what you told me. I was so fixated on the action that I wasn't fixated enough to where do I go from here? And you said that was making me stuck. So since then, I just want to let you know what I've been doing. I says, what have you been doing? And she says, well, I became a counselor for other women who have been raped. And I do therapy with all of these women. I just looked at her. I said, I am so taken back by that. And she says, and it's really funny. I can honestly say what happened to me was horrible, but now I see why it happened. I took something so bad and I turned it into something that could be so good for others based on the experience and the tragedy that I had to go through. But you're right, I overcame it, Susan. She says, I just wanted to tell you, you told me this, and you also told me within 2 years. And she says, guess what? It's 2 years and 6 weeks to the day that I saw you. So, point of the story is many of you have probably had some severe tragedies, and that I don't wish for anybody to ever go through. But it's a little deeper. You can't keep saying why. What I always tell clients is, where do you go from here based on the experience you've gone through? Where is that going to lead me? Where is it going to take me to maybe help myself, but help others? I turned around and I said, you want to know the best therapy that you're giving yourself? She says, what? I said, the best therapy that you are healing is healing others, and that's how you are healing. She says, you're right. I am. Because for every woman that I can impact and help her, she says, I do feel that it lifts me up. I said, it should. That is a very profound way of healing. But it's also, only you could really be somebody that could really help somebody in that situation, because you've gone through it firsthand. But you are here to not only say your story, but you're recovered and you're healing, and you're a silent hero is what I call people like her. So it's a tidbit, it's a story that's very, very dear to my heart, and it's happened so many years ago, but I can remember it like it was yesterday. So I want to tell each and every one of you that's listening that no matter how bad things are, the power of your mindset and how you look at it is where you're going to go. And that's what evaluates where is it going to go after this, by how we look at things. It's very important. And I think that is, in a spiritual way, you say bad things happen to good people. They do every day. People that don't deserve it. But the outcome is what is really profound, to see what everybody does with that. So it's a psychic story that I value very much. I think of her often, and I know she's helping so many people that need her, and only somebody like her that could help those people. So I just want to say thank you for always being here, watching these videos. Thank you for the many clients that come. And thank you, I do want to say, for the clients that are open-minded to hear the spiritual words. You have to be open in order for you to go to the next chapter. And for that, and for all of those that listen, I thank you. Until next time, I hope that this has resonated to some people. And for those of you that are listening that have had these tragedies, remember what I'm saying. What are you going to do with the experience? And that is what's going to let you get through fully. Okay? So until next time, subscribe to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. All my love, always, to each and every one of you. You take care.